Time is the most valuable asset a person possesses, yet it is the most carelessly spent. Every second that passes is gone forever, and there is no force on earth that can bring it back. You can recover lost money, rebuild broken relationships, or even heal from failure, but you cannot rewind the clock. That is what makes time so powerful and so unforgiving. It doesn't wait, it doesn't pause, it doesn't negotiate. It keeps moving, whether you're ready or not. And the harsh truth is, the life you're living right now is a reflection of how you've spent the time you've already been given. Asterisk people talk about purpose like it's some grand destination. But purpose doesn't show up all at once. Built in the small, deliberate choices made every single day. When you wake up in the morning and choose to hit snooze instead of rise, you're not just delaying a task, you're delaying your destiny. When you choose to scroll instead of study, binge instead of build, you're trading something priceless for something temporary. The trade-offs people make with their time are far too casual. They hand it away to distraction, entertainment, procrastination, as if there's an infinite supply. But there isn't. Asterisk, you're either investing your time or you're wasting it. There is no middle ground. People like to believe they're resting or taking a break, when in reality, they're escaping. Escaping from responsibility. Escaping from discomfort. Escaping from growth. Rest is necessary, yes, but rest has a purpose. Escapism is something else entirely. If what you're doing doesn't move you forward, strengthen your mind, or prepare your soul, then it's not rest, it's avoidance. And time doesn't give discounts for avoidance. It still charges full price. The years will pass. The dreams will decay. And one day, the question will echo in your mind, what did I do with the time I was given? Asterisk, there's an illusion that someday we'll have more time. That the stars will align, the chaos will settle, and the schedule will magically clear up. That's a lie. You don't find time, you make it. If something matters to you, you carve out time for it. If it doesn't, you make excuses. It's that simple. People aren't too busy. They're just out of alignment with what they say they value. Watch their calendar. Watch how they spend their hours. You'll see their priorities unfiltered and unspoken. The truth is always in the routine. Asterisk, time demands respect, not fear, but reverence. Because when you honor time, it begins to work in your favor. You stop waiting for permission and start giving yourself assignments. You stop drowning in distractions and start seeking clarity. You stop being reactive and start being strategic. Time rewards those who are intentional with it. The ones who schedule growth, who calendar discipline, who block out space for silence and structure. These are the people who live lives of impact, not because they had more time, but because they treated time like it mattered. Asterisk, if you want to live a life that counts, then every moment has to be accounted for. That doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean you'll never make mistakes or fall behind. It means you live awake, aware, conscious of the cost of every decision. You understand that time isn't a luxury, it's a responsibility. What you do with it shapes your future, your relationships, your mindset, your legacy. It's all connected. The smallest moments, when stacked with consistency, create monumental outcomes. The difference between someone who lives with meaning and someone who drifts through life isn't talent. It's how they treat their time. Asterisk, look around. The people you admire. The ones who move the world. The ones who stand out. They didn't get there by accident. They paid in hours you didn't see. They sacrificed leisure. They stayed focused when others got lazy. They said no to things that looked good so they could say yes to what was great. That's the cost. That's the price of mastery. It's not about what you say you want. It's about what you're willing to give up to get there. And the currency you pay with is time. Asterisk. The tragedy isn't just wasted time, it's what that time could have produced. The song never written. The book never finished. The business never launched. The relationship never nurtured. The potential left untapped. Wasted time doesn't just rob the present, it steals from the future. Every minute that passes is either building your dream or burying it. And if you're not paying attention, the days blur into months, the months into years, and suddenly, You're standing in a life you didn't choose but passively allowed. Asterisk urgency isn't panic, it's clarity. It's living like the clock is ticking because it is. It's understanding that you don't need more time. You need to value the time you already have. You don't need more hours in the day. You need fewer excuses. Time doesn't bow to your feelings. It doesn't slow down when you're tired. It doesn't pause when you're confused. That's why you must learn to act even when you're uncertain, to move even when it's uncomfortable. Because time only rewards those who refuse to waste. Asterisk, you have an opportunity right now, in this moment, to make a decision that could change everything. Not a big, flashy decision, a simple one, to turn off the noise, to shut out the distractions, to show up for yourself, not tomorrow, not next week. Right now, that's where power lives, in the now. In how you spend the next hour, the next 10 minutes, the next conversation, that's where your life is being shaped. Not in some distant future, not in some ideal circumstance, but here, in this breath. In this second, asterisk, so ask yourself, is what you're doing right now aligned with who you want to become? Does your calendar match your convictions? Is your time reflecting your truth or exposing your comfort? Because how you spend your time is how you live your life, and the life you want won't happen by default. It must be created 1 minute at a time, asterisk. Time isn't something you manage, it's something you spend. And once it's spent, it's gone. Not in a way where you can rewind it, not in a way where you get to ask for more. It's not like money that can be earned again. Every second that passes is a second of your life slipping away, dripping like water from a cracked faucet, one drop at a time, with no way to plug it. Once it's gone. People walk around like they have forever, like there's an unlimited supply of tomorrows. But the truth is brutal and simple. Every breath you take is one breath closer to the end. Every moment you waste is a moment you never get back. Asterisk, you wake up and scroll for 20 minutes. You say you'll start in an hour. You promise yourself you'll get serious next Monday, next month, next year. But deep down you know you're lying. You know the opportunity is now, and you're gambling it away for the comfort of distraction. The world is full of people who are talented, capable, even brilliant, but they never make it. Not because they lacked potential, but because they kept telling themselves they had more time. They played around while someone with less talent but more urgency got up and moved. Asterisk, the harsh truth is this. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not built by a lack of time. It's built by your decisions. The tiny choices you make every day. Do you hit snooze or do you get up? Do you scroll or do you focus? Do you stay comfortable or do you chase discomfort in the name of growth? The difference isn't in the clock, it's in how you respond to it. It's in the weight you give to your time. Because if time was money, most people are walking around throwing it in the trash like it's worthless. And then they wonder why they feel broke, not financially, but spiritually, mentally. Emotionally. Asterisk, think about this. If someone stole an hour from your wallet every day, you'd be furious. You'd fight to get it back. But when distractions steal hours from your life, you laugh it off like it's nothing. The most successful people aren't working with more hours in the day. They just treat their time like life itself, because that's what it is. They wake up with the mindset that every second counts, and they build their day with discipline. Not perfection, discipline. They know the cost of wasting time is not just lost productivity, it's lost potential, lost dreams, and a life that could have been lived fully, but instead was diluted by excuses. Asterisk, you've got to start seeing time as sacred. Not in a soft, poetic way, in a real way. In a blood and bone, flesh and fire kind of way. Every second is a piece of you. Every moment is a brick in the legacy you're building or not building. You think you're just relaxing for a bit? No, you're choosing to delay greatness. You think you're waiting for the right mood, the right vibe, the right inspiration? You're not. You're procrastinating behind a lie that feels comfortable. That's the enemy. Not time itself, but the illusion that there will always be more of it. Asterisk, no more pretending that being busy means being productive. Being busy means nothing if it's not focused. A lot of people hustle for years but never move forward because their time is filled with noise, not intention. They let their calendar get filled with other people's priorities. They let their energy get drained by things that have no eternal weight. You've got to learn how to say no. No to the distractions, no to the deadened conversations, no to the habits that kill your potential in silence. Because every yes to something meaningless is a no to your future. Asterisk, don't wait for motivation. Motivation is a spark, not a strategy. What you need is obsession. Obsession with the idea that your life has meaning, and every minute that slips away is one less chance to live it on purpose. The clock doesn't stop because you're tired. The clock doesn't pause when you're overwhelmed. It keeps ticking unapologetically, relentlessly. And you can either be crushed under the weight of wasted time, or you can rise under the pressure of knowing that it's now or never. Asterisk, this isn't a game. This isn't something you can cheat. You don't get to rewind. You don't get a second draft. What you do with your time is what you do with your life. It's that serious, that urgent. And if you don't start treating it like it's urgent, one day you'll look back and realize the biggest tragedy wasn't what you failed to achieve. It was the time you had and the silence you met it with. The goals you abandoned because comfort whispered louder than purpose. The dreams you shelved because you thought there'd always be time. Asterisk. But time doesn't pause. Time doesn't pity you. Time doesn't slow down when you're lost or stuck or afraid. It keeps moving forward. So you have two choices: waste it and watch your life dissolve in regret, or own it and build a life that matters. There's nothing else. You're either building or decaying, creating or consuming, evolving or repeating. Choose wisely. Because your time is not just a schedule, it's your story. And one day it ends. What you do with it before that day determines what's written on every page. Asterisk.